This week on Judge Taylor comes a case so heinous it will make you fall out. Not in the spirit, but in pure disgust. The defendant, Shama Mrema, is accused by his own co-worker and co-host of dipping white bread in chocolate milk. Ew. Will Shama's guilt be proven? Will Judge Taylor explode in fury? Will I get paid my day rate for this voiceover? Let's find out on this episode of Judge Taylor, where content is king and the truth takes second place. Now, to the courtroom. All rise for the Honorable Judge Taylor.
Thank you. We are gathered here today to discuss the very well-publicized and controversial case of Shama Mrema and his allegations that have been brought against him by, well, his own co-host and co-producer of his podcast and content, P.D. Bachman. P.D. Bachman alleges through some alleged uncovered screenshots that Shama dipped white bread, God help us all, in chocolate milk.
It's a shame.
I'm going to ask all of you, I'm asking you to reserve judgment until we've seen the facts. Given my background of several years now of food-related content, matter of fact, it being pretty much the way I make a living at this point.
Exclusively.
I am, judged by the people to be more competent and more qualified for this matter than anyone else. That is why we did not come to a real courtroom. A realer courtroom than a real courtroom. And that is this courtroom, where I am going to find out what the truth is and get to the bottom of it. Now, I will allow an opening statement from the prosecution. Please welcome P.D. Bachman.
Thank you, Honorable Judge Taylor, and this very honorable court. You said a realer. I think this is the realest court that we could have brought this case to.
Paul, honestly, I will remind you that kissing up to the judge isn't going to get you very far, sir. You have brought some serious allegations against the defendant.
All right.
And I want to see some evidence.
I will stop. Okay. Anyways, what we're here to talk about today is the allegations that I've brought against my co-host.
Former
co-collaborator. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff together. And what I'm saying is here, okay, what sense would it make for me to want to watch all my projects crash and burn because they're tied to Shama? I don't want that. I didn't want any of this. All I wanted was for the truth to come out, okay? And I take no satisfaction in trying to bring someone down either. That's not who I am as a person. I heard some things, and then when pressed further, Shama seemed to not exactly always be denying these allegations, even if he does so publicly. So, that's all I'm going to say for right now.
All right. That is our opening statement from the prosecution. I would remind P.D. Bachman that while he seeks to claim that he is innocent, he did publicize the very evidence that he probably plans to present to the court today. So the fact that he's saying he doesn't want to publicly shame his co-host, I personally deem false. However,
Objection.
This could be objection overruled. That might be some simple clout chasing, which we see on social media every day. So I will allow it today. Now, our statement from the defense, Shama Mrema.
Your Honor, bailiff, ladies and gentlemen in Judge Taylor's court, I, Shama, born Eli Shama Kundale Moses Marawiti Mrema, to Mr. Kundale and Jacinta Mrema in Tanzania, East Africa. In 2014, I was enjoying a snack. I was on vacation with my former collaborator's family. We were in Charleston, South Carolina, and this day was hot. It was a hot day. We were at the beach. We had a great time. That afternoon, I was enjoying a snack. We were all enjoying snacks of our choice, and I I have not judged anybody for the snack that they chose to eat that day.
But
or
you do
any
understand, Mr. Mrema, that some snacks
I do understand.
are undefendable and reprehensible and reprehensible.
All the
Yes,
words.
All the words. All snacks are not created equal. You are aware of this.
Well, can I describe what transpired that day, Your Honor?
Yes, you may. Sustained.
We had white bread and we had chocolate milk. Okay? I can't remember the other snacks that were available that day because you know what? I'm talking about the snacks that caught my eye and might I even say whet my appetite. Do people say that?
Wow.
I'm going to say that.
I would like to order a court psych eval immediately for anyone that seems to
Do you
find
want me to get on
appeasing.
that, bailiff? I mean,
We'll
Judge.
let it be sustained. We haven't seen the evidence. We haven't talked to the witnesses.
There were no condiments, Your Honor, to put on said white bread. And if I remember correctly, there were no other drinks, Your Honor, besides water, also known as H2O. The bread was dry, and the chocolate milk was the opposite of dry. And, Your Honor, I dipped that white bread, I dipped it straight into the chocolate milk.
God help us.
And I ate it.
God help us all.
If delicious snacks are wrong, then lock me up. That's all I'm going to say. Lock me up.
I am this close, Shama Mrema.
Am I guilty of doing what this man said that I did?
Where is your legal counsel?
Maybe.
Where is your legal counsel? If you had any
Maybe.
legal counsel, you would be advised to stop talking,
I'm representing
Mr. Defendant.
I dipped some white bread in chocolate milk 6 years ago, and I ate it. I ate it.
It is
And
very
you know
clear
what?
that the defendant is not in
it.
right
How
mind.
about that?
And I am not
I
accepting
liked
his
it.
testimony.
Is that the end of your opening statement, Mr. Shama?
That is. That's all I got for now.
When we come back, will Shama face the punishment he so clearly deserves? Find out when we return.
Hey there! Do you like t-shirts that are in equal quality to pretty much every other influencer's t-shirts on the market? Well, check out our churchy and frick frack merch, available on www.taylorransom.com. Free shipping nationwide, unless you're overseas, in which case you have to pay a little bit more. I'm so sorry. It's not my fault. It's the coronavirus's fault, okay? I'll change it as soon as I can. Love you very much. God bless.
Wow, that merch sounds great. I may have to pick one up with my non-existent paycheck for this voiceover. Now, back to Judge Taylor.
I would like to call witnesses to the stand. I would like to hear this from someone else. Do we have any witness testimonies?
We
of any
do.
kind?
Before we get to that, I'd just like to remind everyone that despite our reactions, we are an objective court.
Yes, it is our job and duty in Taylor's court to do whatever makes great content. I mean, to tell the truth and get to the bottom of whatever is going on here. Shama Mrema has stated that he did, in fact, dip the white bread in the chocolate milk. I would just like to take this time for any young ones watching not to follow his example, as what he did is, or what he claims to have done is reprehensible and
But we haven't judged on that yet.
We haven't judged on that yet. We're going to hold back judgment.
Thank you.
That's where I'll leave us at.
So at this point, we're going to call witnesses. PD, who do you call to the stand?
While I can't call anybody to the stand, I did get 2 very interesting voice memos sent to me that I think should be played.
Very well. Sustained.
May I play those? Okay.
Yes, but first you must take the oath so we know you're telling the full truth. So do you have a Bible?
Absolutely.
If not, just use your phone. YouVersion's on there.
Yeah, I'll use YouVersion.
Okay. Say after me.
Okay.
Put your hand on your Bible. I solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear.
To tell the truth.
To tell the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
Or whatever makes for good content.
Or whatever makes for good content.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay. You may proceed.
First, I would like to play something from my lawyer, who unfortunately could not make it. Here's a message from Chase Bridges.
We here at Bridges and Bridges Law Firm are so sorry that we cannot have a representative there in person. To tell you the truth, I'm in court myself today. I was going 75 in a school zone. Anyway, today we just wanted to show our support for our client, PD, which is of course short for Pete Davidson. as he faces the trial against his former co-star and co-host, Shama, which is, of course, short for Shamariah Carey. All we want to say from the Bridges, and Bridges law firm is that we don't think that there should be a case at all. Shama has already admitted to the crime in the screenshots that are available to see on Instagram, whether you are looking at Paullaleluia, which is, of course, PD's Instagram page, or my own personal Instagram page, at Bridges Parody. You can find the screenshots there where Shama admitted himself. Also would like to point out that in the apology video that Shama uploaded to his Instagram, at Shama4, that's the number, Reels, you will find that by apologizing for the action, he is incriminating himself and admitting to the action. And that's all we really have to say over here at Bridges, and Bridges. And we would also like to point out that the only thing that PD did wrong, quotations around wrong, is expose Shama for the kind of person that he really is. Thank you so much.
That'll be all from the witness. Thank you very much. Shama, Mrema, I would like to give you the opportunity to respond at this time, being that these are such serious allegations brought by our plaintiff. Also, I would also just like to tell everyone that I'm gravely disappointed in the legal representation on every side thus far, and I question everyone's judgment. But that's besides
My
the point.
lawyer is a
Shama,
great
Mrema,
guy.
Go ahead.
There was nobody around in that school zone, I'm sure.
Okay. Okay.
well,
all right. Let's not open
Your
up
Honor,
a second case here, Mr. Plaintiff.
Sorry.
And I allowed Shama to respond.
I'm sorry.
First of all, Your Honor, love the hair.
Thank you. My wife did it. It's very, very in with the kids these days, I've been told.
I have a witness that I'd like to call to the stand.
Okay.
And he happens
Sustained.
to be here in the studio with us right now. Your Honor, I'd like to call Shama Mrema to the stand.
Witness for himself. Can he do that, Mr. Bailiff?
Let me look in this book that looks like it has some authority to it. Yeah, there's nothing here that says he can't.
Never in my 30 years of law practice have I had someone both be their own legal representation and their own witness. I would just like to state that. But sustained. I will allow it.
Put your hand on your Bible.
Is a Message Bible okay? It's got a Message translation.
Judge, what do you want to do about this?
Sustained.
I mean, I guess it will work.
Can the court please notice that I, the defendant, have a real Bible?
Do you?
Do you?
Let's not push it today, defendant. Swear
We'll
on your
allow it.
Bible.
Come on, guys. It's Eugene Peterson. Come on.
Defendant! In the Message translation, if you turn to Acts chapter 2, Tim Hawkins has stated you can find a recipe for Rice Krispies. Do not test my judgment today. Thank you.
Is this fine? Is this fine?
Yes,
It's fine.
let's proceed before you get yourself kicked out, all right? Repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
to tell the truth,
to tell the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
or whatever makes for good content.
or whatever makes for good content.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may proceed.
Permission to lay my Bible down.
Sustained, if you can call it a Bible.
Your Honor, thanks for having me today. Shama, thanks for calling me as your witness. You're welcome.
We definitely need that psyche eval.
100%.
Your Honor, I think the only thing I'm guilty of is an action that was going to happen whether I ate the white bread and the chocolate milk, drank it separately. Sir, it was all going to the same stomach. I just happened to mix it up before it got there.
Mr. Defendant, as you know, it shouldn't have to be stated. There is no scenario in which dipping white bread... I'm sorry. I must contain myself. Stay judge-like. Dipping white bread in chocolate milk should ever be acceptable, legal, or not punishable. Let's put it that way. Your defense stating that it would have been mixed up anyway. Mixed up in what, defendant? Your mouth? What is your defense? You have no legs on this defense.
Judge, I would like to point out that you're making PD's cross-examination for him.
That is valid. Sustained.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
Am I wrong, though?
Don't make me answer
I mean,
that question.
am I wrong, though?
Don't make me answer that question. All right, you know what? Defendant's statement closed. I will allow for the plaintiff to bring another witness at this time.
If I may, could I bring Shama to the stand?
Did PD just prove Shama's obvious guilt? We'll find out after these messages.
Hey, did you know that you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and it helps the show get shown to even more people? That's right, and it takes all of 2 seconds. You click the 5-star button, and if you want to be possibly in one of our future videos on @FrickFrack Podcast, the Instagram account, where we review your reviews, leave a written review. It means so much to us. Thank you, and in return, you get absolutely nothing but the knowledge of knowing that you are helping promote this show.
Wow, leaving a 5-star review sure does sound easy. Almost as easy as writing a check. Now back to Judge Taylor.
Yes, sustained. Shama to the stand.
So this means you have to swear in again?
No, I will sustain
Again?
no further swearing, as in I don't want to see that message translation again. I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
I
We
don't
could
want to see it
both put our hand on the message.
again. No, that won't be necessary.
That might-
Thank
Okay.
you.
That
Thank you.
could compromise the entire case, actually. So let's
Yes.
avoid
You're
that.
right. You're right. All right. Well, Shama, so in your so-called apology video, you claimed that you didn't do these things, and here you are in court saying that you did. So which is it?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
Objection sustained.
That means you can answer.
Wait a second.
This court
does
case
that
is
mean
making me lose
sustained?
hope in humanity. It means you can reply, Mr. Defendant. I will allow you to open your mouth, which you have dipped
Well, I was gonna say,
bread in chocolate milk and ate with, to answer
I was
the
gonna say
question.
that. I was gonna say that he asked and answered the question. So he really, what can I answer?
He asked
I
a
was asking-
question,
That's a
Mr.
court term.
Defendant. The
He asked the
plaintiff
question,
said
but
that you just came
but
into
he
this
also
courtroom
answered.
and admitted to it, but publicly you stated it didn't happen.
Your Honor, can he ask the question again? Can he ask the question?
Sustained.
I just need to hear the question.
In your so-called apology video, you said, well, you started the video by addressing the allegation and apologizing for it. Then you said you didn't do it, and here you are again saying you did do it. So how can we believe anything this man says at this point?
Those are very good questions, and what I'll say is, I did do what you said I did, and you are both wrong and right in your question that you just asked me, and I leave it at that, Your Honor.
Compelling.
At that, are we allowed to go to the verdict?
Do you need to...
I have more. I have more.
Sustained. Bring it.
So, Shama makes this seem like a very spontaneous decision, and I have something else to play. This is from my sister Annie Bachman, who was also on this trip with us, who brought these allegations to my attention in the first place.
Did not.
Sustained. I would very much like to hear this.
This is a key witness.
All right,
Key witness
here we go.
So it was either 2013 or 2014. Shama took a trip to Charleston with our family and some friends, and one night our mom asked if anybody had any requests from the grocery store, and Shama asked for bread and chocolate milk. So she went to the store and she came back with everything, and then Shama asked me and a couple of other people, have you ever dipped your bread in chocolate milk? And I was like, no, because that's gross. And then he proceeds to dip his bread in his chocolate milk, and he said, what? It's good. I've done it before. It tastes like Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles.
So-
He said it was dry when we now know this was bought from the store.
This was premeditated.
Premeditated, done before, and I also texted my mother today. I said, do you remember Shama dipping bread in chocolate milk in Charleston? And she said, that sounds about right.
I'm so sorry to the court for my emotional expression.
No, you're being objective. You're being objective.
I have tried my hardest to be objective through this.
Okay, you're not being objective.
I've tried.
When do the lies stop, Taylor?
First of all, yeah, that's not sustained. You don't speak back to the judge. First of all. Second of all,
I'm sorry.
Your Honor.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Your Honor, permission to approach the bench.
what do you have to say for yourself, Shama? This is beyond any legal case that this honorable court has ever seen. We now have evidence and a witness saying that you not only did this once, but that you premeditated, did this multiple times. And not only did you do it yourself, God help us, you encouraged other people to do it. What do you have to say, Shama?
I would just like to quote the philosopher known as Hannah Montana, who once wisely said, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
It's true.
Your Honor, bailiff, listeners, in 2014, your boy had one of those days, and your boy made a mistake.
Wow.
It takes a lot of guts.
I believe it is time for me to deliberate. Is it not?
Okay.
Is it time for me to
You deliberate.
I don't know if I can take another moment of this.
Yeah.
I would like to deliberate at this time now. Specifically for the youth watching this, for anyone else that would ever watch this. It is never okay to dip bread in any liquid substance of any kind with the exception of olive oil, various dressings, perhaps various, basically if it's given at a restaurant when you go there to
Garden
eat.
allows it, it's
If
okay.
Olive Garden allows it, it's okay. But I would just like to state for anyone watching this getting any ideas, do not dip your white bread in chocolate milk. I will state that. I will also state that not only have we had a confession from our defendant, that not only did he eat it himself, but in his lack of a statement thereto in response to the plaintiff, he infers that what the witness said was accurate and correct. In which case, let's just say I won't have a hard time sleeping tonight when I deliver,
and
my,
it was
my
premeditated,
verdict.
which may increase the degree of this offense.
This was not an impulse. This was not, I'm really thirsty. I'm really hungry. I'm just going to dip this bread in the... No, he deliberately thought it was a good idea. You know what? All rise. All rise for the verdict. All rise for the verdict. I said rise for the verdict.
Then maybe we should sit back down because we just see our crotches.
Oh, no. I don't even care.
Okay.
I don't even care at this point. You know what? Yeah, sit back down. Sit back down.
I was about to say.
I would like to see
Sorry.
their
a little
faces
awkward.
when I cross this verdict. Okay.
Yeah.
I hereby sentence Shama Mrema to 2 Instagram shout-outs for homeschool meme pages. The less followers, the better. Matter of fact, they're not even allowed to have more than 50 followers. They have to have less. And it has to be the worst meme on their page. Do you understand me?
2, Your Honor?
2.
2?
You know what? 3. Because you spoke back to me, defendant, with the audacity that is still in your veins that caused you to dip white bread in chocolate milk. I'm done with it. I am done with it. Also, I rule that the plaintiff is also guilty. Not only is the defendant guilty, the plaintiff is guilty. Because for this evidence to be floating around that he presented from his sister, his relative, whatever, he must have known this has been happening for some time and merely avoided the subject for personal gain. So I state that he too is guilty.
He was complicit.
He was complicit even. This is unheard of in my entire 1-year span of judging this court.
1 day span.
Yeah,
Now-
one day span.
I'm not allowed to make any more statements, am I?
You know what? Sustain.
So, this was brought to my attention never before. It was brought to my attention this Father's Day at dinner, from which I tweeted at the Cheesecake Factory for Shama to address these allegations. As soon as I found out, I went to Twitter.
You mean to tell
While I
me
was
that you
eating-
have... Let me ask you this. Let me ask the defendant this question. Defendant, how many episodes of Church Stories podcasts are there?
Say that.
Sir, as of today, 84 plus.
In the 84 episodes, plaintiff, that you guys have put together for Church Stories podcast, which is a great podcast, by the way, and you all should listen to it. How many times has he been eating white bread on the set with chocolate milk?
And how has that not come up?
And how has that not been a subject? Why didn't you confront this behavior? Instead, you enabled and sustained it and didn't say anything until you could get some likes on Twitter. Don't think I don't understand how this works.
Your Honor, after being shamed by the Bachman family in 2014, I never once ever repeated dunking white bread in chocolate milk.
Wow.
And that's on Eugene Peterson's The Message translation.
Well, then that throws that out.
That throws that right out the window, Shama Mrema, but I will allow it to be sustained.
The sentence has been ruled and passed.
The sentence been ruled and passed. We're done with this at this point. I need to go to Chick-fil-A. I want everyone out of my courtroom immediately. Please escort them, bailiff.
Wow, another fair and unbiased ruling from Judge Taylor. But seriously, am I going to get paid for these voiceovers?
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
Guys, we had a fun time today. We screwed around with this judge thing, but we're going to let differences be differences. Okay, this was a heinous thing committed, but we all make mistakes. There's grace for a reason. We all can receive grace through Jesus Christ, and I will state that. I also would like to state that if it was so bad, Shama probably would have lost his VeggieTales contract, but he hasn't, has he? But he hasn't, has he? No. So I would state that this is a crime that can be walked away from. And we can all
there
grow
hasn't
from this
been another
process.
season announcement.
There hasn't been another season of VeggieTales Remixed on Yippee TV.
Unless you want to announce it right now, in which case it would be a great time to do it.
I'd love to if they told me.
Yeah,
Okay.
but in light of the scandal, I don't think they're going to.
Oh, well, that's quite disappointing. I hope that everyone can grow from this process and maybe there can be some new standalone projects presented from Shama Mrema and P.D. Bachman.
So what's the future for PD and Shama?
I was hoping that my former collaborator could be my continuing collaborator and we could squash this right here, right now.
Okay.
Sustain.
I didn't expect you to bring Annie's witness today.
Did you tell me about that?
I'll shake her hand.
Okay, sure. I guess we'll drop this as long as I don't see bread dipped into chocolate milk in my lifetime after this.
I promise.
Then we
You better
will
never do it
continue
again,
to work
Shama. If
together.
you ever do it again and you end up in this court, there will be a much harsher verdict, okay? You won't just be shouting out homeschool meme pages. I'll make sure you're shouting out, I don't know, some like women's conferences that are in strip malls, okay? That nobody's heard of.
Not women's conferences.
That's what will happen.
Wait. Let's make him go. Let's make him start his own Enneagram podcast.
Oh!
That will be
Whoa,
the
the judgment's already been passed. No, you can't.
Anyway, this has been Taylor's Court or Judge Taylor. I don't know the name of it.
We're not syndicated yet, so it doesn't
We're not
matter.
syndicated. It doesn't matter. It's been a special episode of the Frick Frack podcast with these two fine gentlemen. We've squashed the beef. They're good friends again. You can expect to see more episodes from them on the Church Stories podcast. I presume. Is that correct?
Yes. We picked Shama back up for his contract.
And I'm
that quick?
I am very thankful to PD and everyone at the After School program, After School podcast, and Church Stories podcast administration for bringing me back on and extending the contract again.
It was Childish Gambino who said, let's squash the beef right now like sausages.
Okay. Well, we've had Childish Gambino quoted on the show, which should be a course, absolute court case in and of itself, but we're going to skip over that. We're going to skip over that.
This is America.
I can't believe it. These people come in to this court with white bread and chocolate milk, a Childish Gambino quote, and they're swearing on the message. Anyway, follow them. Their links are in description. They're pretty funny people. They're pretty hilarious people. Check it out.